recording this conversation for my YouTube channel, so we can talk about like just how delusional. I'm pretty sure that these people are so delusional. This is my immediate family, who again is incredibly toxic and has been my entire life, and no one cares to check on me unless they're worried about my mom or my kids, and I'm the one that's like organizing everything and like trying to like make everyone feel special when we're together, and like pissed that everybody wants to watch football instead of opening presents and focusing on family time, and everybody tells me to sit down and be quiet, and I'm like, it's my fucking house. Like, if I want to turn off football so we can all watch the little kids open their presents, like, fuck you, get out. I'm done sitting down.
So, this is really quick, and I'll let you speak,
No, please.
I find it so frustrating because I feel like I try to do things like that. Like, I feel like I want to place value in family.
Yes.
Like, that's why my sister and I have gotten in so many fights.
Jen, I got it.
Then I'm meant to feel like I'm controlling and I'm an asshole. And
No, this is your spiritual gift. It's because we're literally in tune with what we're supposed to be doing, and our families that are still brainwashed in the toxic mindset don't even see what's happening right in front of them.
And I realize sometimes my tone, like, they don't understand. Like, I'm sarcastic. Sometimes I'm very, like...
Well, that's our trauma.
And I feel, but like the way I speak is sometimes really, like, passionate, like,
Yes.
really up. But I don't need it to be, like...
No, Jen, this
And I
is
really
literally...
think it that way, so I've tried to work on that.
No,
Just
and
like,
no, stop working on it, because this is where people tell us we're too much, and it's not that we're too much. It's that literally we're operating on a different frequency. They cannot understand what we're saying because they're like, they cannot comprehend it because they are still so disillusioned to be able to understand it. And my example that I'm going to give you is this text message. No, there's so many, but it's this text message with my family. I think I'm gonna turn it into a song, maybe. I said, hi folks. Just letting everyone know that mom is moving to a different assisted living facility on Monday for her birthday. She will be in Westminster at this point. I'll include her new address at the end of the message. In case anyone's wondering, side note, I haven't heard from any of these people since January, maybe.
And when was this text?
Today.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't heard from most of them since like January, when they all knew I was going through a divorce and had all this crazy stuff happening. And the only ones that I have talked to or heard from, my cousin, she's spiritual, but she's got a ton of PTSD and she's still on too many meds to be able to, like, the meds block everything. The meds like block all your spiritual connections. But my aunt and uncle have been helpful, but they help with the kids and they help with my mom. No one's checking on me. So I said, in case anyone's wondering, just in case. And you know, they've known me for 40 years, so I'm assuming that they could tell that this is a mildly passive aggressive situation here. I'm working really hard on my PTSD recovery. I'm paid up in my rental through the end of May, but pretty much out of money because I've been living off my IRA and focusing on recovery instead of finding a job. My psychologically, emotionally, and financially abusive alcoholic ex, you know, my mom that I married, is fighting me on spousal support, and we're working on selling the house. I've barely spent time with my children in months because he's refused to leave me alone with them, and I chose not to be around him because he was a trigger for me. After being the only one to really raise them for the last 4 years, I finally just got to spend the night with my children for the first time last week, and just got to have them spend the night at my rental for the first time last night because he's tried to block me at every turn from being alone with them. Part of the reason he's been keeping me away from my children is because of my spiritual gifts that I've tapped into during my trauma healing, and his disbelief in them, and that it makes that I'm crazy. He doesn't believe psychics exist because of the Bible. I'm pretty much been abandoned by all my friends and family, and have had more empathy and contact with strangers over the last several months, with the exception, Jen, of you and Ellen. And Melissa and Lo, but the lady in my rental storage unit has asked more about how I'm doing, and that's just because I was the last one here one night, not even because she knew that there was like something going on. I will tell you that I've learned some very interesting things about our ancestors, and Grandma has been one of my spirit guides, kind of my fairy godmother, if you will, on my healing journey. She's had a lot to say to several of you, and it's not rainbows and butterflies. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to be at the end of May, but I wanted to let you know I don't intend on staying in Maryland long term. I guess this is my official resignation as hostess of family events / efforts. I love you all. Happy Easter. And then I put my mom's address.
And
Okay. Can I please now read you the responses?
when did you send it?
Oh, I'm so glad I'm laughing at it now. The first time I read it, I started crying a little bit. And I was like, no, it just like reaffirms everything I already knew. I sent this today at 1:16 p.m. It was right after I removed Brian from the family chat. So then my cousin responds and says, thank you for letting us know about Auntie and for keeping us in the loop on your journey. I love you and will always be here for you. My cousin's wife says, listen, by the way, my cousin's wife is like on a crusade to defend every foreign country where women are being abused. Like literally completely outspoken about what is happening in foreign countries to women and children. Thanks for the updates. Big changes. I hope you find peace on your journey. My uncle, I will visit Mom as often as I can. Love you and hope you can overcome all that is going on in your life. I hope you find what you're searching for. His wife, who should have left him years ago. Love you and wish you the best and love that you're finding your authentic self. Every woman should do this. I just told you that I am living in a rental unit that I have paid out for the next 6 weeks, that I'm out of money, with no job, treating PTSD, dealing with a psychologically, emotionally, and financially abusive ex who has perpetuated the cycle that I've lived through my entire life with my parents and my mother, who I was taking care of until I almost lost my mind. I haven't heard from any of you in months. And your response to me is big changes. Good luck on your journey. Like, what the fuck? What in the actual fuck am I living? What in the actual fuck am I living? I really want to respond and just be like, this is the most disillusioned group of people I've ever fucking met in my entire life. Oh, it's 4:20 right now. I need it.
What, Liz? Like you said, though, they don't get it. You know what I mean? I mean, to them, like they're being supporting.
Right.
In their heads, they're thinking like they're being supportive and they're, you know what I mean? Like,
and again, this is the problem with what we have done in this world, because my family is a toxic example of toxic masculinity and patriarchy, where the women are doing absolutely everything to the breaking of their neck and bone. I mean, my grandmother used to get up at 4 a.m. and make homemade fried pork chops for my grandfather every day for lunch. Like, I'm sorry. No, if I'm staying home with 4 kids, I'm going to sleep until the kids, like, no, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to make your homemade pork chops because you can't make your own lunch. Like, you're an adult. Yeah. This societal structure where men can't do anything for themselves, and because women are staying home, that we're expected to literally do everything for you and be your mother and your maid and your wife and your sex toy and whatever kind of sex toy it is that you would like at the moment to please you, but forget what our fucking needs are. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it is insane to me, the response, because these are the women. Like, my uncle was one, but these are the women. Yeah. These are the mothers who I've just said, I'm in an abusive situation, treating PTSD, and I'm out of money, have been abandoned by my friends and family. Hello, people, that's you. I'm talking about you. Yeah. Have abandoned me. And your response is, good luck on your journey.
Is there anything I can do to help or anything like that?
Right?
Yeah.
What do you need? Do you need somewhere to stay? Do you need somewhere to live at the end of May, maybe? Like,
let me know if it gets too windy. I'm just sitting outside again.
No, you're fine. I am just like, it is just literally mind fucking blowing to me that it's like, and my uncle's like, I hope you find what you were searching. What I was searching for, what I was hoping for was a family who gave a shit about what happened to me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, but you know what? You have actually confirmed for me what I already knew, in that you were literally in my life. It was part of my, soul contract. They were here to do exactly what they have done to me, to make me who I am at this moment, so that I can share the hypocrisy of what the fuck is happening in America. Like, this situation that I am in right now, Jen, I just, was thinking earlier, I went to the school, the kids' daycare, and told them, I'm in an unsafe situation. My husband is an alcoholic. He is psychologically and emotionally abusive. My mother was my, original abuser. I basically married my mother. I've been in therapy figuring it out. Now I, did this outpatient psych program, and they're like, you're being psychologically and emotionally and financially abused. Here's some resources. We need to get you some help. And then it turned into him and his whole family abandoning me because, number one, they couldn't help me if he was the problem. They couldn't be there for me. His sister actually said, I felt like you were telling me that my brother was the source of all your problems, and I didn't want to be in the middle. So, okay, I get it. But the source of my problems are your brother being abusive. So would you like to pick which side of that situation you'd like to be on? Yeah. Maybe? Oh, God, it's just, it makes me think of that Friends episode where Chandler runs into, or he's, following Janice, and she sees him in the grocery store, and he's like, I'm just here going to a party, buying some barley. She's like, okay, are you here because you're seeing another woman, or are you creepily stalking? Which one of these guys do you want to be? Have you moved on that fast, or are you being creepy? Anyway, I digress. I, have known that cutting ties was going to be part of my journey, etc. But the fact that my exes, him and his family, have abandoned me because I realized that I am highly psychically in tune and dug into past life regressions, all this, the gist of this. Yeah. But their religious beliefs are the reason that they have abandoned me, as well as this whole upside down societal structure of they revere the men. Brian is just, the sweet baby boy because he was born. Yeah. I heard his mother say one time, she had not heard her, she said to me, to my face, it wasn't hearsay, she said to me, verbatim, seeing my daughter get pregnant and have a child was one thing, whatever, that's what we do. But watching my baby boy become a father, what a life-changing moment.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? Did I just hear that right? And then I found out she didn't even go to her daughter's baby shower. When his sister had her first child, his mom didn't even go to the baby shower. They were waiting for her to get there to open presents, and they called her. And she was like, no, we're not going to make it. Dad has the car. He's going to see somebody from church that's in the hospital or something. I mean, that's hearsay. That was a story told to me through others. Yeah. But, the whole point is, where are your priorities? And, and me asking for help with the kids. After I had Addie, I had a C-section. I was home with a 2-year-old and a newborn and my mother after a C-section. Brian went back to work. He took 2 weeks off and complained about having to take 2 weeks off and was still working from home. And I was like, you have paid paternity leave. You are being paid to stay home with your wife and children and take care of me. And I have a dinner plate sized wound in my uterus. I just had my body cut open and my organs taken out. And you're complaining.
Not even just the kids. Yeah, you had major surgery, you had the kids, your mom.
And it was 2 weeks early. I went in for my 38-week appointment, and they sent me to the hospital. The nursery wasn't even done yet. It was still full of stuff because he puts everything to the last minute. I was putting everything to the last minute because I was sick as fuck when I was pregnant with her. Yeah, and he went back to work after 2 weeks, and I asked his mom to come 1 day a week. on Wednesdays was her only day that she was free to come help me with the kids so that I would have a break for like 4 weeks. Four Wednesdays for 4 weeks, for a month. 1 day a week to come help her daughter-in-law at home with 2 kids and my mom that just had a C-section. Do you know she came one time?
Oh my God.
And couldn't come the rest of the time? I had no I was literally 2 days home from this surgery and doing the laundry and walking up and down the stairs, and like nobody, the only person that said anything was my neighbor across the street that was like, but you need to sit down. Like, stop doing everything. And I'm like, but if I don't do it, no one else will. And that was my first mistake, because that's what I've been doing my entire life, is if I don't do it, no one else will. That's how my family has been. That's how my mother was. My mother, like, I had to perform for everything. That's how I've repeated in all of my relationships. And now I'm like stepping into this whole soul purpose that, you know, really, even the people that love me the most, you and Ellen are really here with me, I gotta tell ya. And you guys are just, you are my soul survivors, my soul sisters. And Ellen is like, I still don't know that I 100% believe everything. Like, it's just really, like, I believe you, but it's so unbelievable. I'm like,
That's okay.
which,
like,
and again,
like,
yes. And I'm like, but do you think this is easy for me? Do you think that I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, hello, you are an ancient soul with a soul mission to come here and help raise the vibration, the frequency of Earth to 5D, and you're, by the way, this was all your idea, and we're going to call you the Queen of the Apocalypse, and you're Mary Magdalene incarnate, and hello, you're on a twin flame journey with Jesus. Okay. All right. That's fun. That's fun. And everybody's like, so what did you do today? You know,
I thought Ellen, at first I thought like Ellen was kind of.
you know what? And I did. And my fear-based reaction to her initially, when I had like when my third eye, like, I didn't just have my third eye open. I actually like researched more into this and got, you know, downloads. Like, I had a blown third eye is what happened, where you literally get like flooded, where you just cannot discern like what is happening. And because of all the religious indoctrination I had in my life, I started having like a fear-based reaction, and the whole like apocalypse prediction was like fire, brimstone at first. I was kind of like, we're gonna see the end of days, but I don't know what's happening. And then it was like fire and brimstone, because I was seeing like negative emotions in people. I was learning how to read emotions, and it was like popping out at me. And but Ellen's family is, we went to Catholic school together. They're just religious. So just her affiliation with that right off the bat kind of made me nervous about opening up to her. And I was trusting Sarah, and I should not have.
And so wait, that's the best friend for Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, wait, so you actually did say something to her, or you wanted to say that?
No, I said that to her, and then I still haven't heard from her. So I assume that she is now peeved at me and it won't be calling me back. But again, the people that are supposed to love me and support me the most, who are claiming to be concerned about me, want to make sure that I am safe, want to make sure that I am healthy, want to make sure that my children are safe and healthy. I haven't heard from you in over 6 weeks. And when you tell me, it's me, be honest with me, be upfront about how you feel, and I'm upfront about how I feel. Don't get mad at me. Well, and if you do, that's not my fault. That's on you.
Yeah.
Like, it just, like, just the hypocrisy of every situation. And I realized so much the other day, like, there's been just this whole web with my mother, where my mother has created this level of distrust amongst female relationships in my life, because she had the need to be in control of all of it, and she would insert herself in all of my relationships as a go-between between me and whoever it was with. Even my girlfriends, like when I was younger, she would end up having conversations with them when I wasn't around, and like she was persuasive, persuade them into like admitting things to her about stuff I'd done, or just like things that I wasn't comfortable opening up to my own mother about, because she was my alcoholic narcissistic abuser since I was a small child and was not safe around her. Like, and so I told my friends stuff that I didn't tell my mom, and she would trick them into telling her and create like distrust between me and my girlfriends so that I didn't want to tell them stuff. And then it's like, then you have nobody. She's done it in all my relationships in my family, with all my relationships with my boyfriends. Like, she had to be she wanted them to like her more than me. And in my first relationship, you know how I told you about, like, with my high school boyfriend, that whole, like, I wanted to break up with him, and she, there was another boy that I liked. Like, I had a very sweet first love. I had a very sweet first love, high school sweetheart. Like, we lost our virginities to each other. Like, it was very like innocent and kind, and like it was just what we needed for our like first relationship. And then we got a little bit older, and I wanted something different, and we were like getting into like our attractive stage. We were getting over that like awkward stage, and he was like not super masculine. He was like my size. Again, this is the one I told you about that I found out we were twins in a past life, and I was the boy and he was the girl, and I was like, that tracks completely. We were siblings in a past life, 100%. And yeah, and he was the girl, 100% tracks. And he was like besties with my mom. And it was like, I didn't want to date someone again that was besties with my mom, and I wanted a protector. My dad was gone. My dad was an abandoner. I was dating a sweet guy, a nice guy, but he wasn't like a, I'm gonna fucking go to the mat for you kind of guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, my mom would use my friends and my boyfriends and my relationships to gang up on me. And like, use her connection with them to make me feel awkward and make me feel inappropriate. And, like, I met a boy that was like kind of a bad boy, and I was like, I haven't had this before. I'm trying to see what this might be like, maybe. And my mom was like, ah, ta ta. And
it's wild because, really quick, my high school boyfriend, she literally loved so much because, you know, he lived.
It's not wild, Jen. It's the family dynamic. It's the psychological dynamic. Yeah.
So she loved him, but like he cheated on me, and I kept hearing it. And she,
right.
And
it's the same thing.
He admitted it.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, I
yes.
told you.
And it was like, and again,
how are you believing him over your own
yep.
daughter?
My mother did that to me, and every single one. And again, Jen, it's not crazy. It is literally the psychological construct, because my grandmother did it to my mother. My grandmother's mom did it to her. Like, she had another boy that she liked and wanted to date, and they made her date my grandfather. And my mom's first husband was abusive, and when she told my grandparents, they didn't believe her. And my grandmother maintained a relationship with him for years. He still sent her flowers on Mother's Day for like decades. And my mother was so devastated by that. And guess what? Instead of fixing it with her own mother, she unloaded on her 10-year-old about it. Okay? Like, it's like the shit that I took on.
When I eventually broke up with him for good, my mom was so pissed. She literally wrote me this horrible letter. And was mad at me, and we were talking every time my grandma died, and I was like, I'm so sorry, like, I don't know what's wrong with her, blah blah blah. And it's like, this is your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my mom did the same thing. So when he and I finally broke up, here's the fun part. So we dated. I tried to break up with him when we were like 16, and my mom got in the middle and like told him, you know, she wants to get back together and you can make it work. And he came over, and I went to break up with him, and he was like devastated. And I was like, what's wrong with you? And he was like, but your mom told me that if I came over, we're gonna get back together. I'm like, a who and a what now? Like, I'm sorry, my mother did what? And he literally went and laid in the street outside of my house and waited for a car to come run over him. And I was like, I'm like, get the fuck back in the house. Like, get in the house. I'm not breaking up with you. And that's what I did. Instead of being like, okay, no, this is not for me. This is not the behavior that I find acceptable. This is exactly why I would like to break up with you. Instead, I'm like, nope, get back inside. And the social pressure. We were in this like big social circle where we were like the couple. And it was like going to be a big deal if we broke up. And it was like, am I going to have any friends left? Like, who am I going to hang out with? Like, the social pressure to stay in a relationship simply because everybody else, like, was more comfortable with you being together is insane. And so I ended up staying with him. And then you know what I did? I cheated on him because I didn't want to be with him. And I cheated on him with a guy who really liked me. And, like, and I ended up screwing around with his heart because instead of standing my ground and breaking up with the guy that I didn't want to be with and trying this new relationship, I made him be the other guy, made him be the one on the back burner, didn't break up with the other guy, and then, you know, he got pissed. So when my boyfriend found out that I was cheating on him, yeah, of course the guy I was cheating on him with ratted me out because he was pissed. He wanted to be my boyfriend. He didn't want to be the other guy. And I put him in that position. And then he and I had this just whole dance over my life that ended up, I also found out he's one of my spirit guides that got me to where I am. But like just the dynamic of that. And then, so I ended up staying with the guy with the high school boyfriend through our sophomore year of college. And it was so terrible. We both just kept cheating on each other with other people because we didn't want to be together. Like, we both just wanted to go do our own thing. And had we actually done that, we probably could have stayed friends, which would have been fine because we had multiple, we were like in the same friend group still. But no, instead, we fucking beat that horse till it was beyond dead. And I turned into the bad guy. Like, he made me out to be the bad guy, and everybody was like, oh, she kept cheating on him, she did all this. But nobody acknowledged the fact that he was cheating on me too. Like, he actually cheated on me I think it was our freshman year in college, and told me, admitted it, and was like, I'm sorry, and if you want to break up with me, I understand. And I had already had a cheating incident, which he said he forgave me for, but never let me live down and held it over me every opportunity he could.
Of course.
And when he told me he cheated on me, do you know what I did? I took a weekend to think about it, and then I forgave him. And I said, you know what? Shit happens, and like, if you're actually like apologizing and you're sorry and you were intoxicated and you didn't mean it, like, I made a mistake and you forgave me. What kind of person would I be if I did not forgive you for the same thing? And you know what? He actually thought that I was just going to break up with him and that like I would be the bad guy that would have done it. And so when I like turned the other cheek, he was like, oh shit. Like, so he stayed with me. And then we had a whole nother year of just like being neglectful to each other and like mean to each other. And he was just like, turned into this asshole to me, and he and my mom stayed friends. Like, he was still doing shit for her long after the two of us broke up. And finally I was like, Mom, like, this is not okay anymore. This has to end. And you know, I see his mom and his sister all the time in Westminster in the grocery store.
Funny.
But it's this like eye opener where it, like, if I had been in that family, here I would be in the grocery store with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and I would be in this family dynamic, like dying in the freaking societal American dream and religious indoctrination struggle all over again. So it's just like, but my mother perpetuated this cycle of mistrust in my female relationships and in my male relationships. And even then, like, I found that I have always been attracted to a bigger guy, and like when I wanted to date somebody else in my teen years, it was like, it's a protector thing. I lived in a house where I didn't feel safe. I lived in a house where the person who was supposed to love me unconditionally, my mother, was my monster and was my psychological and emotional manipulator and an alcoholic. And like, the times that I remember, like, I would get in trouble because she would be drunk in her room at night and be like screaming at me, and I was doing my homework. And when I got to be like a teenager, it's like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not coming to make you another I know what you want. And I'm sitting here doing my homework. Like, I have to get up in 7 hours. I have 3 more hours of homework. Like, can you just leave me alone? And I would just pretend like I didn't hear. And she would just stomp on the floor so loud that I remember the dining room chandelier would just shake. And I would just sit in there and pretend I didn't hear until she, like, was screaming so loud her voice would get hoarse. And she'd be like, do you hear me? And it's like, of course I fucking hear you. Like, I'm literally, like, like 30 yards away. Because she was drunk and she was a narcissist and I was her slave. I had to do everything for her. I had to perform for her. I was a financial burden, which meant I had to earn my keep in other ways. And because my parents were split up and my dad wasn't there, he was the avoidant abandoner. Like, he was her slave first. And after he got out, I had to do... Dobby had to go to work as the house elf. She literally used to say to me when I was a kid, I'm sorry I didn't have any siblings for you and you've had to work like a slave your life. And it just, like, I don't want people to get upset that I'm using the word slave because I don't, like, it doesn't need to be a racist thing. It's literally like any type of emotional slavery, financial slavery, like any, I'm tied, indentured, I'm in servitude to her for something is what she made me feel all the time. And then I repeated that cycle in all of my relationships where I had to be in servitude to people to get love. And it's like, well, no, you're worthy of love without having to serve people. You want to serve people because you love them. And you need to realize that you don't serve everybody. That it's okay to not serve everybody. That you serve the people that are serving you.
Yeah.
And, like, you can, I told you this before, you give all of yourself to somebody once, you get all of me once now. You get full commitment for me once, and I will allow you to show me who you are. And then moving forward, based on how you respond to me, that is where I will meet you. So now my family will be getting big changes. Have fun on your journey. Like, when I'm a millionaire, mark my words, when I'm a millionaire and they're like, hey, can you help us out with our bills? I'm going to be like, ooh, I got big changes, man. See the way my checking account's set up? It's like, you find out who people really are in times of pressure and times of need and then in times of abundance. So, nobody had a problem being there for me in times of abundance. And now that I'm in a time of need, nobody is anywhere to be found. So when I am back in a time of abundance, let's see how that goes. I'm actually already in a time of spiritual abundance because I really have no problem saying fuck you anymore. Like, I used to feel bad about not giving my all for family stuff because I felt like I was disappointing my grandparents. And you know what? This weekend, my grandmother, she said, fuck them. She said, fuck them. Like,
wait,
yes.
What? Say that again?
I said my grandmother this weekend, the message she gave me, she's like my fairy godmother. She said, fuck them.
Did she pass on?
Yes. She died right before Brian and I got married. And actually, she passed away from dementia, which was a result of her being stuck in fear and stuck in her own head because she was in a situation. My grandfather was an alcoholic, and she had to stay with him because she never worked. She didn't know how to have a job. She had no money. She didn't know how to take care of herself. If she ever wanted to leave, she's told me. He used to embarrass me so many times in front of people with his alcoholism, and he could just never get it together, and he was grumpy, and he was mean, and I did everything for him. And when he died in their house, and she never wanted to go back in there because the paramedics like revived him in the middle of the living room floor. So every time she opened the door, she was just like, I can't go in there. She never went back into the house. Instead of like actually trying to get her into a situation where she was in like an assisted living facility or like a senior living community, with people she could do stuff with, she probably would have thrived. But instead, they were scared to let her thrive. Again, because she was scared. And it was like, well, no, you got to push her out of the nest. It's not your responsibility to hold on to her fear. And, like, if you actually put her... It's like what I'm doing with my mom right now. If you actually put her in that community, my mom has found, like... She's going to all the activities. She's got friends left and right. She fucking loves it. She's thriving. Thriving. And my grandmother would have done the same. She needed community. She needed support. And instead, she got stuck at home doing crossword puzzles and being in fear of being alone and not knowing how to take care of herself and not being able to defend herself. She was also a spiritual badass. But, oh my gosh, the sweetest thing. I had the girls last night. And, I had these old pictures of my grandparents in the in my rental that my mom had done, and they're from the 50s maybe, but she had them like printed with this color splash. Like, they're really pretty, and my grandmother just looks absolutely beautiful. And Ev saw it, and she said, "Mommy, my fairy godmother passed away." And I said, "What do you mean your fairy godmother passed away?" And she said, "She hasn't been around the last few days. She went away." And I said, "Well, who's your fairy godmother?" And she pointed to the picture of my grandmother, and she said, "That's her, but I haven't seen her." And I literally, like, all of the karmic cycles I have been breaking, like, my grandmother was literally spiritually in chains in the astral plane. Like, I am the cycle breaker for our generation, and me getting out of this relationship, talking about it, standing up to him, standing up to my family, and telling people what has happened to me, and not just being a silent survivor. Being a survivor is absolutely incredible, and not everybody has the power to not be silent. Oh, well, they do. They just have to find it. But, like, I have the power now to not be silent, and that is what I need to do. And it, like, needs to be normalized to not just say I'm a survivor of abuse. We need to be able to say what it was and who did what to us, because the people that are doing it they just get off the hook. Nobody ever holds them accountable for actually being abusive, because we don't hold them, and especially in marriages when there's kids involved. Wives are, well, I didn't want to make a big deal of it because I didn't want them to look bad in front of the kids. Well, guess what? If your kid's dad is a shitbag, they should know that he's a shitbag. Like, you're not doing it to be mean. You're not doing it to be vindictive. If you were literally dealing with someone that is abusive, emotionally, verbally, sexually, mentally, like, financially, whatever it is, like, don't cover it up for the sake of the kids, because it doesn't change for the kids. It just stays the same, and they learn the same patterns and behaviors, and then it goes down to the next generation, and we just perpetuate it. History repeats itself until you fucking change it, people. Ugh. So should I tell my family to fuck off, or should I just tell them thank you for the well wishes? What do you guys think? Welcome to today's episode of What the Fuck is Happening? Who am I and what is happening?
Well, if you tell them to fuck off, you know it's not gonna go well. They're gonna take that as an attack.
Right, I'm aggressive.
And
correct.
Look at all the nice things we said to her in support, and she's being at us. And they won't understand it, because they already don't understand it. So
it's so insane.
Too bad there's not something, like, in between that you could say to kind of get the point across, but, like...
Honestly, I think silence at this point is just, like I'm just not even...
Which is sometimes the hardest thing to do.
I'm just not even going to garner a response to this. What the fuck? I'm actually working on a painting right now that says, breathe deep, then scream fuck. It does. There's this guy on Instagram I love, Yogi Brian, who just does, like, aggressive, like, get your shit out. He actually does, like, sleep hypnotherapy. But he does these, like, okay, everybody breathe in with me. We're going to breathe in for 3. And then when I tell you to, we're going to scream fuck at the top of your lungs with a big exhale. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. And fuck. I love him. And I have started doing it. I've also started saging myself more. And that was my funny tagline I gave myself yesterday for Jesus. I said, Jesus tried to teach us, you gotta sage yourself. No one else coming to sage you. Oh, I'm such a cheese ball. All right.
I'm actually out here now.
Are you in the garage? I'm in the storage unit. Look, ladies in the garages.
I want to do something creative right now, and I'm trying to figure out what.
I'm painting and framing. I made a fun frame. I'm just trying to figure out what to put in it too. This is what we do. Hi, look,